Oh my gosh. Do you have a plan in place? This is a prime time to have a plan in place that will delegate and execute your personal and professional life that showcases who you really are. Do you have that? It's a big question. Do you know what your PUV is or your personal unique value? Have you even thought about that? Or how you will showcase that? Or how you will look for and find a job right now, imperative to a lot of you, that will best support you and the balancing of your life, your career, and your family? Oh, this is important stuff right now in what is going on in our world right now. And have you accomplished your master plan? These are really big questions. And if you have not, then please stick around and join me as I showcase this powerhouse career coach and get her senior level executive tips to land your dream job and position you wherever you're from and wherever you're watching from. Thank you so much. We are not a show without you, our audience. We are live on the Aaron Strayer Show, where we are all about promoting, cultivating, and expanding amazing female entrepreneurs that are out in the world doing things just a little bit differently. We talk about hot topics. Ooh, everything right now is a hot topic. And pain points, like your job for some of us, is a really big pain point right now. And what are we going to do? And how are we going to position ourselves working from home? And is it still doable? We're going to talk about those things, because the really cool thing that we do here on the Aaron Strayer Show is not only do we talk about them, but we give you workarounds to those challenges that we face every single day and make them into opportunities. Oh, it's so good. I'm your host, Aaron Strayer, and recovering corporates and entrepreneurs hire me to get them business beyond the basics, because most are indecisive. They're held hostage by their own fear. So many people have a lot of fear right now, and they've settled for playing with a C+ average second base, not moving any forward. So I help them keep on track by setting them table goals, plugging gaping holes in their businesses and personal lives, and taking their dreams to reality. And bottom line, at the end of the day, I provide peak performance scaling strategies for growth-minded entrepreneurs, so you and your business get the attention and detail that it deserves, and you start excelling in your business and making money. You can find me at aaronstrayer.com, but the show is never, ever, ever, ever about me. It is always about our amazing guest experts that choose to come on our show and teach and train and talk about the hot topics and pain points. And as the CEO and founder of her own coaching company and Top Line Resumes, where she focuses on designing the best you, Vennessa McConkey coaches senior level leaders, executives, and entrepreneurs to up-level their careers, whether it's improving productivity, learning how to effectively lead teams, or advance their careers and businesses through proven strategies and systems without compromising their quality of life or overcoming burnout. She can do that. Vennessa herself has battled with many health issues, 2 rare incurable autoimmune diseases to just top that off. She strongly believes that setting a plan in place, delegating, and executing on that plan for your personal and professional life will allow you to showcase the best you to the world, because the world needs you, and there is only one of you, and only one of you created and designed to accomplish the part of the master plan. She's amazing. She's full of energy. You're going to love this lady, Miss Vennessa.
Hello. Thank you for that wonderful introduction.
This is like crazy times right now.
Oh, right. Oh, even, we all have fear. I'm not going to lie. I was a little fearful for a bit. Okay. Things happen. My 3 kids are at home now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And you have littles.
Yes. Yes. They're all under the age of 5.
It's tough.
It's fun. Mm-hmm. You lose the babysitters, you lose the childcare centers, but you know what? I think this is a perfect time for all of us to bring ourselves back to the times before the internet, all that stuff and the busyness. And we get to come together as families again and communities again, even though we can't touch each other, right. But we can still learn how to build relationships. So I think it's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity now.
I think it's a massive, massive opportunity if we choose to step into it, right?
Mm-hmm. Like if we absolutely choose
to step into it as an opportunity. I think that is a huge, huge, huge thing. And yes, a lot of people have a lot of fear right now, but there's a way to shift and change that in and around who you are, finding, some of us are laid off, some of us, some of us aren't any different. We've been working from home, but now those things have changed. Clearly, we just talked about those, but and our family are home, and now we have other things to think about. But how do we, okay, hang on just a second. So you are a senior level career coach.
Yes.
How'd you get started in that?
Oh, so I have a background in operations and engineering management. I worked my way up through school, graduated in 3 years, had an internship in school. So I landed that job right out of school, worked my way up. I spent a lot of time mentoring and people mentoring me and just finding out about people and just learning more than anything about just the human race in general and how people work and productivity and things like that. And then I got burned out. I really did. I was traveling a lot. My last W-2 job, I was traveling 3 weeks out of every month across the country, going from California to Florida to Missouri it was all over the place. You're right. And this was before kids. Yeah, it was before kids. It was nice because I got to go and meet with those people. And my husband for a period of time was like, oh, this is great. She's gone, but it really took a toll on me because you start to get lonely and whatnot. And so I said, okay, I'm going to take a sabbatical. I went to the owner of the organization and I said, because I was a consultant there, and I said, okay, I'm going to take a break, give me 3 to 6 months. I need to rejuvenate. I'll come back, job safe, everything fine. Well, 3 months later, we got pregnant with our first son. And so it was like, okay, we have always committed to having mom at home as much as possible in the younger years, and then we can go off and do our own thing. So we pivoted there, and I said, okay, I'm not one, and this is of no offense to any mom who is a stay-at-home mom homeschooling. I can't do it. I cannot sit there and do it. God bless any of you that can. I don't have that type of patience, and my boys are crazy, so there's no way I could do it. So I had to find something that was going to keep challenging myself and serve the community. And I said, okay, what value do I add to the community? What do people come to me for on a regular basis? And I really did have to sit and think about that for a while, because there was things.
That's a tough question.
It is, because there's things that we all want to do. I'm like, ooh, that sounds really cool or exciting or fun, or I want to learn about that because so-and-so did such a good job at doing that. But we forget about what our God-given talents are and abilities. Like, I could sit there and I could practice in basketball for 10,000, 20,000 hours. I will never be Michael Jordan. I never will.
I might never even sink a basket.
Right? I'm a little short white girl. I can't do that, right?
I know.
So I will never be able to do those things because those aren't my God-given talents. I take and I match people's, God-given talents, their expertise, their abilities, and we combine those together. So I had said people were coming to me, no joke, for resumes, reviewing resumes. They'd say, okay, I'd get a resume and be like, okay, here, I'd mark it up here. This is probably what you're going to need, because I was hiring people in my jobs and I was firing people and things like that.
Sure.
And so I had great success, not getting paid, not knowing that was something you get paid for. And my husband had actually said, Vennessa, there's this thing called Fiverr. Why don't you go on Fiverr? And just, you're pregnant, something simple. You could do some resumes for people, so you're still keeping active and busy,
right? And
go from there. And some guy had found me on there and said, hey, I like your work. I want to hire you on as a contractor. I'm like, okay, what do I got to lose, right? I'm not working 40 hours a week. I'm not getting stressed over this. This is easy to me.
Yeah.
And so we worked with each other for, I'd say, about a year and a half. Our morals and values didn't match, and he had adult ADHD. So one day I was doing amazing, and the next day I was doing terrible. Right. So
I think that's not called ADHD.
Yeah. Well, we'll call it that right now. That's what he claimed. Well, he claimed that. So
it's gonna go out on a limb there.
Yeah. So we parted ways, and I said, okay, all of my family, every single person has had their own business. My mom's a naturopath. My dad's done carpet cleaning. My sister did health and fitness. My grandparents had, automotive stores, all kinds of different things. Yeah. And so I'm like, it's in my blood. I've got to do something. So it's got to be easy for me to be able to transition over. And so I did. And no joke, the first month I made all of my investment in back, and it wasn't much of an investment. It was really fast. People were, referring me like crazy. And I was like, oh, this is wonderful. Okay, great. I mean, no joke. I was writing resumes in the hospital when I was giving birth to my first son. What am I going to do? All right. Yeah. Who's going to sit there and like, whatever. But, but then I started going into, okay, what else can I do for them? How else is going to just writing their resume? That doesn't give them, that's like telling a child here, here's food. Now you figure out how to eat it and what to do with it and all that. Right, no, you can't do that. Your own. Yep. Yeah. Do your own thing. No, I wanted to be able to serve them more. So it was updating LinkedIn, showing them how to navigate LinkedIn. And I was like, okay, people were now asking me how to interview, how to negotiate, how to even find a job. And I was like, I know how to do this stuff. Because you know what? This is something I'm going to tell you guys is I have never, ever applied to a job, ever.
It's always come to you?
It's always come to, okay, Ish. One. My first job ever I applied to, okay? First job ever, okay?
To the library.
That's it. 16, right? Yeah. I wasn't even quote legal. I was 15, but that was the first one ever. But every other job, people have either seen my work. I worked at Panera Bread, and no joke, I had someone come in on a regular basis, didn't even know. And the restaurant across the street, one of their managers came in and said, I've seen you on a regular basis and I like how you serve people. Can you come in and work for us? Okay. I wasn't expecting that, but it was all because of how I served people and how I presented myself. Same thing in the workforce is, when I got out of college and had a degree, people were saying, okay, we like how you work. We like what you have to offer. And I was going into companies once I was extremely confident and saying, guess what? I have what you need. You don't even have a position available. I'm going to create one, and I'm going to help save your company money and time and improve it and bring in revenues and things like that. And some people were shocked. They're like, okay, this 20-some-year-old girl, and I'm much older than that now, but 20-some-year-old girl is coming in and saying these things. What is this? And people took chances. And I'm happy that they took chances because I had the opportunity to serve more people and show people that there's more than just making money at a company. It's about serving the whole community.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's, really stepping into what you do well. Mm-hmm. Is it scary? Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that first time you did it, like, were you like scared out of your brain?
Well, yeah, because you're coming out. I mean, yes, I had an internship at the company I got hired for out of college, but when I went to my next company, I didn't know how to do it. I was in dental medical devices. I had no idea. I went from a machine shop and working with those guys there to a dental company that is in 140 some countries. And I had no idea how to do it. But you know what? I had to, first of all, trust the person that hired me, trust myself, trust God, and say, you know what? I have specific talents and gifts. And all I have to do is learn how to talk to people, not be a know-it-all. And back then, I mean, we didn't have Google, so we didn't really get to Google things and say, oh yeah, I'm going to find the answer. No, I had to actually go and talk to people and say, what do you know? And that's one thing I always encourage people when they go into a new job. Everyone wants to be onboarded quickly. Yeah. Well, great, but are you really taking the time to understand the people and the culture? Because they've been there for a period of time. I mean, like that dental company, we had union workers who were there for 30, 40 years, and they've got someone young coming in and saying, nope, you're going to do it this way. Like, okay, flavor of the month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So you have to go in there and say, okay, what do you know? Learn things about them, learn things about their process. Because what I learned, and I did learn it the hard way, is if you learn about the people and you care about the people there, you care about the managers, you care, even your own boss, you care about them, they're going to do so many more things for you and for the company. You're going to build that team. That's going to, like we talked about, one of the topics is building an effective team. Yeah. I mean, sometimes even you have to take it outside of work and, not necessarily physically out, but bring in an activity that is not related to what they do on a daily basis.
Right.
Like I thought my boss was going to shoot me again at the dental company. And he took me onto other companies too. So we're good friends, but I said, okay, guys, they were arguing, bickering on these teams. And I'm like, just can't do it anymore, but I have to get my stuff done. I've got management down my back. So we baked a cake in the kitchen on one of the breaks, and everyone had a piece that they had to do a part of. And no joke, they thought it was the dumbest thing ever at first, but they came together at the end. And after that, there was no bickering and arguing. Now, I'm not going to say that's going to happen every single time, but when you do things like that, people are like, oh, she's real. She's not just all about business, 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 business. We can have fun. Like, we can do other things. And we actually learned that one of the guys that was our biggest problem, him and his wife had a bakery. And he was mad that we were making something out of a box.
Right?
So we learned something, and that was his opportunity to open up, even though he was sitting there and just had his arms crossed and was like, I'm not going to do this. This is dumb and blah, blah, blah. Right.
We got a recipe for that.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I'm like, I get it in my head. I don't need a box for that, but those little things, they bring people together, just like right now, they're struggling to be brought together. Because now we are isolated by the governments, right? We can't leave our houses in most states, or we got police outside just asking us where we're going.
Right.
And regardless of that, is we can't change those circumstances, but what we can change is how we do business and how we do life and our attitudes towards that. That's the biggest thing. I mean, I've seen so many people online, now that everyone's online, they're bashing, oh, I lost my job. Oh my goodness, the company laid me off. What am I going to do now? Oh, I have to work at home now for my kids. Okay, we're all going to joke about that here and there, but don't be putting that online, because when you're looking for a job, there are so many avenues for these hiring managers and recruiters to find you, and they will find everything that you post. And they're going to see, right? It is. It's your footprint. Yeah. It's not going away. And they're going to see, ooh, I got Billy over here and he keeps complaining. He wants a job. I ain't giving it to him. He applies to my company. I'm making a note of that person. They are not coming in.
So funny that you just said that, because that actually just happened last week to me. There was a lady that was wanting to work for my company, and I actually was interested in her, but I saw post after post after post on her, like some rogue little site that she probably didn't think I was ever going to see. And I'm like, no, I don't need that. Right. And it's interesting that you say that, because there are so many people, and you being a career, like a senior level executive career coach, there are so many people now that are working from home that don't know if they're going to be going back to their place of employment. Let's keep your fingers crossed that you are, but what should they be doing? Like, I kind of want to take this off our topic that we had planned for a little bit. Yeah. Yes, we're talking about landing your dream job. Yes, we're talking about a lot of things right now, but should they be doing specific things right now to set them up to succeed if that doesn't happen? Like,
absolutely.
Are there things that they should be doing?
Absolutely. And you know what? Yeah. So there are so many companies that you guys don't even realize that are hiring. I mean, there's the large tech companies, right? You've got Amazon, you've got the Microsoft, you've got Google. I wouldn't recommend just going out and applying and expecting to get a job, because they are so big, but they are hiring. So if you're like a data analyst, if you're a communications specialist, those people are definitely going to be needed. If you have any kind of medical experience, things like that, of course. Another big one, it's tax season. Yes, tax deadlines have been pushed out, but all those online companies, those TurboTaxes, things like that, right? People can't go into the facilities anymore. So how are they going to do this, right?
Right.
So those companies are huge too, right? Credit Karma, some of the other ones, Liberty Tax, tons of those. Another big one is, like we were talking before the show, Zoom. How many people are using Zoom right now? I mean, even just I've had friends that have, from college and growing up and whatnot, they're doing Zoom, like dinner parties, right? Bring your own food and drinks and whatever, and let's watch a movie and talk and whatnot. So everyone's using Zoom. So there's different ways to be able to get in there. There's Trello, there's Slack, there's Asana, there's Zapier, FocusMate, all these different online platforms that companies are using, and they have been using already. I mean, Zoom's stock, just before this all happened, from the end of January to the beginning of March, jumped 48%.
Yeah.
And that was before any of
the lockdown started.
Yeah. I mean, that's insane. So jump on board with those companies. Another big one, think about this. this is something that you absolutely should be doing from home. My husband and I were talking about this last night, and he didn't even know that I knew this information right now, is these online learning companies, right? The Udemys, the Teachables, all those different, you should be, first of all, applying to get a job or something like that. Second of all, taking those courses. And FYI, LinkedIn is offering their remote course, like on how to work remotely, 100% for free right now.
Wow.
So if anyone is struggling with remote work and how to handle that and things like that, they are offering that for free. But any of those companies, first of all, use them. And then to brush up on your skills, any gaps that you have that you're like, oh, someone was saying I'm bad at communication. My boss was saying that, or I'm struggling in coding right now, or whatever it may be, there is a class for any of that. I mean, any of it. Take that time and schedule it into your day and say, okay, I need to be learning this, and I'm blocking off my calendar from 9 to 10. I'm going to take this course. That's it. No one bother me. Just like an important meeting with your boss.
Yeah,
Absolutely
I think
should do that.
that's brilliant. And is there like specific things that they should be? I love those tips, by the way, because that's really really brilliant. But if they're in this downtime, should they be? Are there specific things that they should be doing, like to their LinkedIn profile, or
Absolutely.
like
Yeah.
I know, like specifically, like my husband's been on that same job for over 20 years. You know what I mean? Like for him to even start building a resume, what does that even look like? You know what I mean? So people that have been like long-term 20 and 30 years in the same industry with the same company, that haven't had to look online for a job or to position themselves with that you talk about, that that specific unique value, that personal unique value, you know, is there, well, one, what is that? And then
Yeah.
two, are there ways to position themselves within their presence, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I always do with my clients is I say, okay, I know you're in fear of your job. I know you're in fear of whatever it may be. You want to get your resume updated, things like that. But before you even do that, you need to figure out who you are, what your personality type is, what your greatest value that you add to an organization. That's one of the questions I ask on my discovery calls, and people are like, wait, what? You're like, well, how do you stand out from people?
Yeah, what makes you different?
And please do not say you're a hard worker. Please do not see that you communicate well, because those are so taboo. And what is the definition of that?
Yeah.
What's
that mean? I don't know.
Right? I mean, you don't know what that means. So make something tangible. So, for example, this is, again, one thing that I learned when I was in the workforce. If I didn't understand the personality of myself and my teammates, how was I going to communicate with them?
Yeah.
If I had someone, for example, I am more of an introvert than anything, but I have a really strong Enneagram 8. So I am very independent. Don't mess with me. I know what I'm doing. I'm very confident, but that can come off to people as being cocky. So you have to say, okay, I have someone on my team and I like to get a lot of things done. So, and I'm a perfectionist on top of all that. So it's a whole nightmare there some days, but there's going to be people who they enjoy talking a lot. They enjoy serving. They enjoy being social. And that's a part of who they are. And I've had to realize, okay, I need to give that person space to do that. And if I do that, they are actually going to build some great relationships that's going to help the company move forward. So the same thing that people have to do is say, okay, like my husband, he's a talker. Oh my goodness, he's a talker, but he's in sales. So that's perfect for him. But he has to be toned back sometimes and say, okay, I think you're just let the customer talk a little bit. So if you understand that strong personality, because we have a strong aspect of it, and then you have a weaker part of it, you understand those, then that's going to be the first thing, because you don't want to create this basic resume that is just a copy and paste of a job description. Right? Exactly. Again, what is hard worker? What is, I know, Microsoft Office? Like, who cares? We all should know that right now.
Right.
Yeah. That's right. That's like saying I know Google. I mean, come on. So it's putting those unique values on there and saying, okay, this is what I can do to serve your organization because of my personality. And right, you don't put because of my personality on there. You're saying, okay, I'm Vennessa McConkey, basically. I have brought companies from this to this level doing X, Y, and Z. and I can do this for your organization. Too many people are afraid to be different on their resumes. Yes, you want to match keywords, things like that. That's fine, whatever, if you're applying online. I'm not a big proponent, to be honest, to be applying in jobs online. Right now, if you don't have a job and you need income, apply to anything, get a job now because you got bills to pay. That's fine. But if you're just like, hey, I'm kind of nervous about my job, or I just want to, move into a different role. No, you need to be a little bit more in terms of networking. So that's where LinkedIn comes into play. So yes, paper resumes are still, paper online resumes, written resumes are still a thing that you need to have because people want to see your history, but LinkedIn provides all of that. That's the great thing. So you don't have to do both unless you are adamant about applying to jobs online, then they do require that. But LinkedIn, the biggest thing is you've got this profile picture. Please make sure you have it. You've got this little, you can fit your face in that little circle, don't have a picture of you with your someone else in there. Yeah. Dog. Don't have sunglasses on. Don't be sitting on a mountain somewhere. Like
not my professional.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even this background that I have right now, it should be completely blank, and just take these little phones that we have and set up the timer on it, selfie mode, right? And timer, boom, take a picture, you're done. If you have access to outside, that's even better, outside lights. Have a profile picture because people want to see you. Mm-hmm. You may not think that you're this most beautiful person on the face of the earth. It doesn't matter. That's not what they're looking at. They want to see that you're a person. They want to see that you have a smile. Don't have a frown face on. Don't be sticking your tongue out. Don't, but like none of that. You'd be amazed at the things that I see. I mean, I've got almost 10,000 connections and I'm like, what is going on, people? Or they don't have anything because they're like, I'm not active or I'm too good for that. No, absolutely not. Of course, if you're a woman, make sure that you've, look somewhat decent, don't have pink lipstick on and green eyeshadow, like I've seen that. Yes, none of that hanging out either.
Nothing hanging out.
Yeah, none of this like, pose type thing. No, unless you're in the modeling, no.
Yeah.
If you're a professional, that's where you need to be. The guys, make sure your hair is done, make sure you're cleanly shaven. I don't care if you have underwear on, but make sure you have a nice shirt on and it's not wrinkled, please. Yeah. Yeah. It takes 5 minutes and tops to do all that and set it up and you're good. And then the next thing is, obviously have your name. Don't put some crazy name. If you're afraid of people are going to search you and find you or stalking you, put your middle name. That's fine, whatever. But make sure that it is a part of your legal name. Yeah. If you have specific qualifications, if you're an MD, at the end of your last name, put those because you want those to show. Those credentials are important. And then the biggest thing on there is going to be that tagline. Please don't put seeking new opportunities. That is, again, boring, lame, or need job or whatever. Don't do that. Like people are not going to reach out to you because they know that you don't have money, you're desperate. Yeah. And you're not going to provide any value to them. Right. So, have a headline in there, say something you can put the title that you want. You don't have to have a title that you already have had. You can put one that you want. If you have been a marketing manager and you want a director of marketing, you could be, marketing expert. You can put, you could put director of marketing. There's nothing wrong with that. And then put something that you've accomplished or something that you're good at. You're tenacious. Like I do speaking engagements and stuff. I'm a speaker. I write blog posts, so I can put I'm an author. So things like that you can put in there, so people are like, wow. And then I do have a Bible verse in there that's important to me, and so people they write on that and they're like, oh, I saw this on here. And then the next thing is, okay, fill in your stuff for your resume, on there, your work experience. That's fine. Make sure that you're putting on their accomplishments, not again a job description. I achieved X, Y, and Z. I increased revenue by X percent within 3 months. Whoa, that, if someone improved, revenue by 60% in 3 months, I'm like, I'm going to reach out to them. I want to know what they're doing. Make sure, yes, you do have some keywords in there. If you're in marketing and you're in sales, make sure you have that markets keywords in there. Don't be putting things like graphic design, because that's not going to grab people's attention to your profile. When a recruiter or hiring manager is out there trying to find someone for a role, it's like a business Google. They're typing in that search box at the top. They're going to be looking for, director of marketing and sales, Phoenix, Arizona. And you're going to want your name to pop up because you have all those different keywords. Put your accomplishments in, put any certifications that you've been doing on LinkedIn, right? Or the classes that we were talking about. Yeah. You can add those as certifications on there. That's going to make you more credible because you've actually taken the time to keep learning.
Yeah. You know, and I know that, gosh, we could go for a whole nother half an hour of it.
Right.
There's so many like pertinent things here. And I know there was a question that came in, and just verifying that this is updating your online presence in LinkedIn, tackling your resume, making sure it's up to date, for those companies that are either furloughing, laying off. You may become one of those people, how to address and keep up to date. So when you are potentially, hopefully, maybe not, that won't be you, that will be looking for the job very, very soon, that you're already taken the steps to make sure that those things are done in ahead of time. It's that planning part that I know that is another really huge hot thing for you, is the planning of that. And I want to talk really, really quick because, you know, you bring so many other facets into play with when you are coaching and doing the career coaching and transitioning of jobs and finding those executive level positions that are right for you, with the balance of the family and the life and the job and all of that. And I just want to drop that is another one of your areas of specialty. But I really want to get into really quickly and to say thank you for your extra minutes of time, how people can get in touch with you, what that looks like, you know, and if they're needing your services, what that looks like.
Yeah, I mean, they could reach out to me on LinkedIn. That's going to be the absolute best. I am on Instagram. I am on Facebook. I don't play with any of the other ones there. Yeah. You know, I do have a landing page for anyone who's on here. You can go ahead and click on it. That offers all the services that I have, and you will get a special gift if you go ahead and purchase one of those services from the show. But I do also want to say too, when you are looking for a job, and this is so incredibly important, don't make it about you. Don't make it about me. I need a job. Make sure that you're really providing that value to an organization. Yeah. It's just so incredibly important because that's what they're looking for. They want someone who's going to continually serve their organization, serve their people, and serve the community ultimately. It's not about you. We weren't designed for everything to be about me. It's we're meant to be out there. So that's one of the big things that I want to make sure that people are aware of.
Yeah, it's what you can provide to the company, not what they can get for you.
Don't be like a little kid and be like, me, I need this, I want this, right? No.
Yeah.
Doesn't get you far.
And just for reference to you guys, I know Vennessa dropped it just really briefly early on in our conversation today, that she is a master negotiator. She trains on negotiating. She trains on making sure that you are set up and positioned effectively and efficiently so that you stand out as the go-to person for these companies that, yes, they might be, slowing business down or doing business differently. And that might end up being you here shortly, hopefully not. But if it does, what do? She's offered many, many, many opportunities and resources through our conversation today, the things that you can do in the meantime and in the interim right now. And that may be a really good addition to your always in the course of our conversation today. And that really you should go back and re-listen to this and pick up on some of those really hot nuggets that she's been dropping through and the resources that you should be tapping into anyways. Just to be continuing
before all this.
Before you're one of the ones that really, really, really need Vennessa's time and energy. And if that's you right now, I cannot imagine anybody else. If you are a senior level executive, if you are looking to be a senior level executive, if that is in your wheelhouse, if you are looking for that additional help, if you've not had to look for a job in the last 20 years, you know, what that looks like to have a specialist like Vennessa in your pocket. Like, thank you. This couldn't have been more perfect of a time. It couldn't have been, like, seriously, we didn't know when we planned this that the timing was absolutely spot on.
Almost 2 months ago.
Brilliantly placed and timed. And the universe provided that timing for us for this. And it's really been quite a lovely conversation, and clearly we could, I'm just going to say it again, we could talk for a whole nother half an hour.
Oh yeah.
Or more. You guys, seriously. So again, Vennessa's lovingly given some resources. They're in the feed. They will be in all of the swipe copy and show notes where we drop them post show. If you're watching the replay, thank you so much. Vennessa is a senior executive career coach looking to find and land your dream job, making sure that that lines up every single piece of you with the balancing of your career. We didn't get into that too much today, that balance and what that looks like in your career, your life, your health and your wellness, and all of the pieces that come into play with that. She is an expert at that, and has personal experience balancing all of those things. And
yeah.
serious. And yeah, there are so many reasons to have Vennessa in your pocket right now. So please reach out to her. It might be in your benefit to do it even before you need it. So Vennessa, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thank you.
I adore you. I love the content that we had today. And again, folks, there is a link in the feed here on the Aaron Stroyer Show platform. It will be in all of the places that our show notes drop to grab some time with Vennessa. So thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate you. We'll see you right back here soon, everybody. Take care.